Right now, early Sunday afternoon in Sydney, Saturday night back in the United States, the men's gold medal basketball game is set to begin. The United States and France. Craig Sager is with Mike Breen and the pride of Benton, Illinois, Doug Collins.
All right, Bob, it's a matchup of the overwhelming favorite, the United States, against the surprise team of these basketball games, France. They'll play for the gold medal right here at the Sydney Superdome. But Doug, of course, the United States has been the favorite, not only expected to win the gold, but to dominate, but that has not been the case.
No, Mike, it has not been the case. And I think the thing you look at is their defense. Where has that pressure defense gone? We saw in the 5 Olympic exhibitions, they forced over 22 turnovers a game, about 14 steals. They were in their running game. That has not occurred here. But today, if I'm the United States, what I say is the first 7 or 8 minutes, we're going to come out with our defense. We're going to take the French team out of the game and discourage them. This French team right now is very excited. They've already won their gold medal to be here today, and they just want to have fun. Well, for the United States, I wanted to make it a very painful day starting early.
Starting lineups for the United States: Allen Houston and Gary Payton, along with Vince Carter, Kevin Garnett, and Alonzo Mourning. For France, key player to look for, Antoine Rigaudot, who's their leading scorer, a terrific athlete who's played very well in these Olympic Games. And, of course, Frederick Weiss, the former Knick draft pick, who struggled early but had a huge game in the semifinals to help France get to this gold medal contest.
There's a normal pregame talk today by Rudy T going into the game. The last thing he did, though, he asked Gary Payton, who did win a gold medal in '96, just talk to the team about what it feels like to have that gold medal draped around your neck and to play the national anthem. That was the last word they heard coming into the game today.
Payton, the only returning Olympian from '96. Alonzo Mourning kicks it out. Allen Houston. Houston with a drive. Nice adjustment. Shot won't go. Jim Bilba, the rebound. This is a rematch. 6 days ago, the United States beat France, but it was a close game. The final was 106-94. France actually led by 10 in the first half. The United States pulled away, but France was in the game even late. They stormed back again, and it was a close encounter as Risacher able to knock it down. Stéphane Risacher loves playing against the United States.
Well, I think when you think of that game, Mike, the thing that really jumped out at me, the United States gave up 94 points to a team that is averaging 73 for the Olympics. That's why I'm talking about their pressure defense that we have not seen here in these Olympic Games.
Gary Payton kicks it out. And a 3-second violation call against the USA. They have had some slow starts early on in games.
We saw Risacher against Australia go inside and punish Andrew Gaze in the game that get them into the gold medal round. So that was part of their strategy. Vince Carter has got to shut him down here to start this ball game.
They have excellent guards, France. And Risacher, again, is one of their premier players. It's 6'8", 28-year-old. Been playing for the French national team for quite some time. Gary Payton is on Rigaudot, the main weapon for France. That's Rigaudot. Feed inside to Jim Bilba. Fall away. Shot won't go. Garnett the rebound.
Garnett has been sensational. The best rebounder, the best all-round player on the United States team.
Gary Payton misses on the 3. Long rebound to Rigaudot, stolen by Carter. Carter on the pull-up, and Frederick Weiss with the foul. And Vince Carter will go to the line. Carter and Weiss, of course, have had some encounters earlier in these Olympic Games.
Well, it was a very similar play like this in the prelims that Vince Carter got a steal and went right at Frederick Weiss, actually jumped over his head and dunked the ball. This time Weiss gets up and challenges him and takes the foul. So, you know, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on me kind of thing. So he learned real quickly as he was posterized, and people in France let him know about it.
Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, several players from the U.S. are following the leads of Michael Johnson and Kathy Freeman and making a fashion statement today. If you look, they have gold shoes on. Now, these shoes are called Gold Shocks. They have a trampoline sole. They have been approved. They're not on the market yet, but they all got together, and also Kevin Garnett passed out special wristbands that say nothing less than gold.
Modern technology, even in footwear. Forrest, there's Weiss against Mourning. Frederick Weiss making his move. He's been much more aggressive recently. Little jump hook won't go. Garnett, another rebound. And Payton trying to push it up the floor. Allen Houston, the 3. That's good.
That sweet shooting of Allen Houston. He's shot the ball exceptionally well throughout the Olympics, shooting almost 60% from the three-point line.
And a foul call on Kevin Garnett, who disagrees.
Gary Payton with a great penetrating drive, and what you do is you collapse that defense and you kick out the shooter. It's going to be very important for the United States to make open jump shots. Mike, one of the things we've seen in the Olympic competition is really packing that ball or that zone in and forcing the United States to make some outside shots.
Payton, meanwhile, with the jump ball, forcing that. And there is the new footwear for most of the USA team. So they'll jump at center court, Payton and Rigaudot. You see a good aggressive start defensively from the United States.
Well, that's what you have to do. When you're playing a team that's an inferior team, a team that's coming out to have fun, you do it with your defense. You take them out of the game early. You discourage them. You get up on their perimeter players. That's where their strength is in their perimeter. So that's what you've got to be able to do.
Carter against Risacher. Spinning inside. Vince Carter. Oh, beautiful move from Carter.
We have seen some electrifying plays from Vince Carter. Just some sensational plays, hanging in the air, being able to finish shots. And not just dunks, but those kind of plays are that little medium-range jump shot.
He's shown an all-around game. His defense has been excellent as well. Rigaudot for three. Off the mark. Ball tipped by Bilbo. Ball knocked away by Weiss. And Risacher picks it up. And Frederick Weiss, a former first-round pick of the New York Knicks, not ready to play in the NBA, according to himself, as Rigaudot draws the foul. But he's been much more aggressive in recent games. And Rigaudot will shoot two.
Well, Vince Carter uses the little screen and then the spinning drive again against Frederick Weiss as he hangs in the air, floating away from the basket. That's such a difficult shot. So, Mike, when you're moving in the air like that, it's almost like you're shooting at a moving target. And Vince Carter has mastered that shot.
Rigaudot misses the first. They call him the maestro. He's the leader of the team. The United States with their own maestro, as Carter has had some great highlights here in these Olympics. But again, they're coming off, Doug, that game against Lithuania. What do you think is in the minds of the United States after such a close call?
Well, I mean, they were scared to death. They didn't want to say anything publicly, but, you know, you're talking about with 43 seconds to go in the game, Lithuania is shooting 3 free throws with the game tied. See, Allen Houston missed a jumper, but fortunately for the United States, a guy who was perfect, 18 for 18 from the free throw line throughout the Olympics, misses 2 of 3, and the United States find a way to win that game. So they were very, very lucky, and they know that. I think if there's any lesson they learned is don't get the game close at the end. You don't know what can happen.
The games of the 27th Olympiad on NBC are sponsored by Sprite. Image is nothing, thirst is everything. Obey your thirst, Sprite. By Toyota, more choices, better selection. Experience Toyota today. And by IBM, 10,000 local heroes, one place to find them all. Olympics.com, powered by IBM.
Caldo, calduccio, caldissimo. Aspetta,
Wouldn't it be great if you could buy anything, anywhere, with your cell phone? Wireless e-business, coming from IBM.
Alonzo, what you doing out here? Here we go, spin, later. Oh, no, I've never banged on somebody so easy in my life. Come on, man, you call yourself an NBA player? You looking ugly out there, sluggish.
Start practicing, because when you play the Sprite Team USA Instant Win game, you could win a trip to go one-on-one against your favorite Team USA player.
What? Houston, you want some of this? Come on, boy, what's up?
Check specially marked packs of Sprite to see if you're a winner.
Miss Harris, the school would like to speak with you regarding
Miss Harris? They're waiting in conference room B.
Miss Harris, I'm afraid the transmission is the problem.
Miss Harris, we need to reschedule.
Go from Miss Harris to Mary with new lathering daily facials cleansing cloths from Olay. Cleanse away the day and improve skin's condition to a naturally smooth complexion. New daily facials from Olay. Proven to cleanse and exfoliate like a facial.
How do you enhance a V8 engine that produces 245 horsepower? A chassis that can haul up to 2,000 pounds? Or brakes that have 4 piston calipers? Simple. Add about 6 pounds of steel. Toyota Tundra, Motor Trend Truck of the Year and 4-Wheel and Off-Road Magazine's 4x4 of the Year.
United States down by 1, just over 4 minutes gone by in the first half. Gary Payton picked up a technical foul as Mourning dumps it in, and a foul as Payton and Forrest got into a little tangle. But it was really Payton, the one that instigated it.
Well, you know, Gary Payton got upset. He got fouled, and he tossed the ball at the player from France. And the France player did what you do. You threw it back at him, and he got the technical. And, you know, Mike, these are some of the things we've seen from the United States, that they've gotten frustrated. They've lost some of their concentration, done some things like that. And you and I both talked about they need to stay away from those things. You know, they got to stay away from those kind of little things that agitate them to get their mind off playing the game.
And quite frankly, some of the on-court demeanor has been a real turnoff for fans. And not just talking about Australian fans here, but American fans as well. United States up by 2. Risacher. In the game, Laurent Sciarra, number 5, who has played just great basketball in the medal round. He's been their leading scorer the last 3 games. Risacher over Mourning. Tough shot, won't go. Rebound, Kevin Garnett. France is playing without one of their better players. Jan Bonato in the quarterfinals ruptured his Achilles as Houston is blocked. Mourning gets in there. And let's see what the call is, I believe, before the shot. And if it's on Frederick Weiss, that would be his 3rd. So Weiss picks up his 3rd foul.
United States doing the smart thing. You take the ball to the basket. You've got a weak front line with France. Now you've got their best shot blocker out of the game with 3 fouls. Remember now in international play, only 5 fouls. And interesting, something happened the other day in the Lithuania game, Mike. At the end of that ball game, Alonzo Mourning picked up his 5th foul, forgetting that you don't get 6 in international play. Said, I've got to remember you only get 5 fouls. Antonio McDyess came in and finished strong, but that could have really hurt the United States, as Mourning is their best inside defender.
And Weiss, one of their better defenders, as Houston knocks down a 3. Allen Houston off to his best start of these Olympics. He's got 6 points. Bad pass. Liggett will try and track it down, but a turnover, and USA up by 5 will get it back.
We spoke with Allen Houston the other day. He's so excited to be here in the Olympics. He said, you know, he has the opportunity to be the first guy from Louisville, Kentucky to win a gold medal since Muhammad Ali. And he did say then, I'm not saying I'm in Ali's class, but I will be the first guy to do that since him. So very excited about that opportunity.
It means a lot to him, as Gary Payton call for a charge. Payton disagrees with that call as well.
That's that spinning move on the baseline that Gary Payton is known for when he plays for the Seattle Supersonics. He loves to go baseline and use that glass, kiss that ball high off that backboard.
Jason Kidd's in now. If that's in the NBA, you have the restricted area. That is a blocking foul. But in international ball, it's different. There's no restricted area for the defender to be. Therefore, it's a charge.
Well, also what you get in international play is the international players don't go for many shot blocks. They go to take charges. And one of the reasons that little area was put in the NBA, they like that spectacular shot blocking play. So the United States, where they go to block shots, the international players step in to take charges. That's another little adjustment that you have to make.
An 8-0 run for Rudy Tomjanovich and his squad, a 7-point lead. Early first half in the gold medal game.
The world's greatest athletes playing the world's greatest game are coming to an arena near you. It's a showcase of incredible athleticism and spontaneous creativity. Join the drive for a championship. The NBA opens its season October 31st. Tickets go on sale October 7th. Go to NBA.com or call 800-4NBA-TICKS.
Introducing the Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
Come on, run! Thompson, come on!
The American is still in the middle of the pack.
Not where he wants to be, Bob.
Wait, Thompson's making
There
his
you
move.
go, there you nice! Nice!
But now he's fading.
What are you doing? No.
Wait,
Here we go. Come on, we can do it. Run! Come on! Yes! Woo!
Play McDonald's Taste Trials game and win instantly. Pow! Bam! Instant gratification.
We love
Just unbelievable. We're looking at Olympic history.
When you think about it, the most important days are the ones that aren't marked on the calendar. Don't miss them. The Kodak Advantix T550, small enough to keep in your pocket. Because Kodak moments won't wait while you look for the camera.
Introducing NBCI.com. Come on. Are you ready for something other than AOL and Yahoo? NBCI.com is one site with everything you need. From entertainment to sports to the best search on the web. NBCI.com not only makes using the internet easier, it makes life easier. NBCI.com, your agent on the web. What you want, when you want it.
Just over 6 minutes gone by. First half, United States leading by 8 as Alonzo Mourning lost it. The foul then on Kevin Garnett. As Garnett will pick up his second personal for the United States, their 16th foul. And Garnett having some words with Crawford Palmer. Palmer, the former Duke player, as Allen Houston takes a seat. Ray Allen in the game.
One of the strengths for the United States is when Rudy T goes to that bench, he comes in now with Antonio McDyess, Ray Allen, and Jason Kidd. They give him a great lift off the bench. Let's watch now, in this next few minutes. It's an 8-point lead. Can the United States build on this by going to that bench and some strength?
Here's Palmer. Rigadel. Three-pointer won't go. McDyess tips it, and Jason Kidd picks it up. Kidd throws it ahead to Carter. And Vince Carter nails another three.
Carter's shooting the ball so very well today. That's his second three of the ball game. Allen Houston has one, so they're hitting the shots from the perimeter. This should open up the middle. And also what it does, it gives an opportunity, a chance to really get up and pressure defensively. Every time they scored, they've tried to press the ball.
And the United States in one of those runs, a 14-2 run, as Carter called for the foul. United States in the penalty now.
How do you run? This is the way you run. You defensive rebound and you push it out and you get that kind of offense, or you force turnovers and you run. The United States, to me, the big difference in this whole international competition has been their superior rebounding. They're beating teams by 18 rebounds a game. That has saved them when they have not shot the ball well or they have not been able to fast break, Mike.
See Vince Carter, Doug, pointing to his head. He's going to come out with the 2 fouls. Steve Smith is off the bench. On the 8th foul per half, you shoot the penalty. And this has been one of the problems defensively for the United States. They commit far too many fouls. First game against France, France took 38 free throws. And remember, it's only a 40-minute game.
Well, they outscored the United States by 13 points at the free throw line. That's why they were able to stay in that ball game. But Rudy T's talked about it all through the Olympic exhibitions, is we've got to stop reaching and fouling.
And a foul call on Rigadel. It's him and Carter colliding.
Vince Carter trying to cut to the basket. Rigadel takes a little exception, pushes him in the back.
11-point lead. Now Carter sits down and Smith comes into the game. France had the worst record of all those who made the medal round, of all the quarterfinalists. They're just 4-3 in these Olympic games as Palmer comes up with a steal. But they beat Canada and then Australia to make it to the finals. Nice feed inside. And Risacher brings France within 9.
I thought the game that was really key for France to give them any hopes of getting in the medal round, they were down to China, about 10 in the game, and Rigadel put on a shooting exhibition. He had 29 points, hit 4 straight threes. They won that game, and that sort of got them off the mark.
Turnover, and then Kidd gets it right back. Kidd pushing it up the floor. Ray Allen fouled. Reaching by Sciarra. It's going to be the 17th foul. Let's see if they call it in the act of shooting. They say no, take it out of bounds.
You don't see many fast break opportunities by France. They're going to, only when they have the numbers, be able to do that. They're a team that wants to come down the floor, use the clock, shorten the game against the United States, and shoot a high percentage. And that's what they did the first time they played.
Ray Allen off the mark. Antonio McDyess, of course, had the big rebound and put back in the Lithuania game. In the final seconds, McDyess has really played well in these Olympics.
Well, he's really earned my respect, Mike. I will tell you that. Just the quiet dignity, the way he plays every single night has been terrific.
Steve Smith in and out. Vin Baker, offensive rebound, takes his time, but finishes the job.
There's that part of that rebounding. You miss an outside shot, and the United States is so vastly superior on the inside. They have got to get on that backboard and get extra shots.
We saw when the United States were warming up, very serious looks on all their faces as Crawford Palmer comes up short that time. Baker the rebound. There's no question that Lithuania game had quite an effect. Offensive foul as Palmer draws a charge. Ray Allen picking up his first.
There's as an example of what we just talked about. Ray Allen here tries to fake the pass. Now, Crawford Palmer's a big man. He doesn't try to block the shot. He takes the charge. United States players are used to guys getting up to block the shot, and they're so great hanging in the air, they can get that shot off. That's a turnover.
Again, the intangible differences between international ball and what the NBA players are used to. Sciarra, the ball fake, pass deflected. Risacher. Jason Kidd has it knocked out of his hands. Baker and Steve Smith with the basket hanging. An easy two. The United States, their largest lead thus far.
Well, Steve Smith ran at the shooter. The shot did not go, and he just kept going, and nobody rotated back from France. That's another thing we see. United States releasing players to get on that fast break, knowing that they're going to get the defensive rebounds.
Forrest. Palmer. Palmer trying to go at McDyess. Cyril Julian short on his jumper. And here comes Ray Allen. Kidd tried the alley-oop, broken up nicely by Julian. And here comes France, a 3-on-1. Sciarra to Forrest. Right back Julian. And he's able to put it in. 24-13 United States.
Well, one of the things that Rudy Tomjanovich has been frustrated with has been his team's transition defense. United States, many occasions, has been very poor getting back on defense.
Baker forced it, but drew the foul, and then Baker will shoot a few. Coming up on the midway point of the first half, gold medal game, USA by 11.
Victoria's Secret introduces the new Natural Miracle Bra.
When I wear the natural, I just feel feminine and more sexy. Instant cleavage. Feel good about your body.
Feeling is believing. The new Natural Miracle Bra, only at Victoria's Secret.
They are the Weekend Warriors. They play for pride. They play for glory. They play for dinner. A brand new oven-baked dinner. Introducing Oven Favorites, new from Chicken Helper. With delicious cheddar and mozzarella bubbling in rotini pasta. For an oven-baked meal your family will love any day of the week. Who's the MVP now? New Chicken Helper Oven Favorites. Try all 4.
Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
You, in my judgment, are an insidious threat to our nation and all she stands for.
The internet was created for the people, Mr. Chairman.
I don't see that in the Constitution. Moreover, what you people are doing is flagrantly un-American. You're giving it away.
Yes, sir, we're giving it away. Free access to the internet is a fundamental right. And if you and your committee should keep me here 1,000 years, net zero will still give it away. Nothing will stop us from that.
As we continue on this Sunday afternoon in Sydney, Saturday night back in the States, we'll get back to the game between the U.S. and France in a little bit, but now back to track and field for a moment. Earlier, we showed you the overly exuberant behavior of some members of the men's 4x100 relay team after they captured the gold medal, behavior criticized by several of their track and field teammates. A short time ago, Maurice Green, who ran the anchor leg, was with us in the studio, and I asked him about it. Here it is. In the aftermath of the 4x1 relay win, you, John Drummond, Brian Lewis, Bernard Williams, were preening and posing quite a bit, and a number of people, there's a look at some of it, a number of people, including some members of the U.S. track and field team, have been critical of this. How do you feel about it?
Well, when I first heard it, I really didn't understand what they were talking about. How you can explain it, there's some people, it was their first time out there, who just letting out all the emotion that they had bottled up at one time. If I offended anyone, and I would speak for the team, I believe we're all sincerely sorry for offending anyone if we did. And we really didn't mean to offend anyone. We just was out there enjoying the moment. And during that time, anything is possible to happen because you have so many things bottled up, all your emotions. And once you complete your goal, I mean, you're just letting it all out. And it's just happening so fast.
But when it continued up on the podium, I think that irked some people. I know that you're sincerely regretful about it.
Yeah, yeah, I am. I'm very sorry for offending anyone. We really didn't mean to. It's no reason for that. But as I said before, I'm sorry for offending anyone. But you know, it won't happen again.
A moment ago, I said some of the members of the 4x100 relay team, it really was all four of them to one extent or another. In fairness, Green, who is the most accomplished and the most celebrated of the four, was probably the one who went over the line to the least degree, but all four of them were guilty to some extent. And we'll bring you the entire interview with Maurice Green, who has, as you saw, apologized later on tonight. Let's get back to the men's gold medal basketball game.
All right, Bob, we're past the halfway point. 9:14 remaining. First half, United States comfortably in front, 28-13. And as you mentioned, Doug, defense was what they knew they had to start it with, and that's what's been the key.
Well, you know, they've given up 13 points here in a little over 11 minutes. And we talked about this is a team that in the prelim scored 94 points against the United States. So the United States understands that what they wanted to be their calling card, they wanted to go down as being the best defensive team ever to play in the Olympics. Today, they're playing much better defense. As a result, they have a 15-point lead.
For France, it's been 52 years since they've played for the gold medal in Olympic basketball. It was back in 1948 in the games in London. Alley-oop, McDyess mishandled it. Palmer gets it. And it was the USA they faced. The United States beat France back in 48, 65-21. Alex Groza from the University of Kentucky led them in scoring with 11 in the game. And a guy named Adolph Rupp was the assistant coach. Palmer, quick shot. Baker tips it right to himself. Hardaway, the hesitation, and a foul away from the ball. The two officials in this game, one from Lithuania and one from Brazil.
Ray Allen with a terrific pass, and Antonio McDyess just cannot catch and deliver around the basket. You know, another thing we've seen a lot is the United States tries to make a lot of spectacular plays, the alley-oops, the slam dunks, the mid-air plays. And we've seen the United States get very upset when they've been banged in the air as they've tried to make those plays. And, you know, Mike, I made the point the other day, if you're going to try to make those kind of plays, a team that's competing against you is just not going to let you put up a highlight reel. There's going to be some contact. So if you're going to make that kind of play, you have to learn with being knocked around and step up and shoot free throws.
And that's what these international players are doing, especially now against the United States. In 92 and in 96, as Sciarra misses on the three. And a whistle and a foul. There was a lot of awe of the international players. That's gone. In fact, because of the way Lithuania has played the United States, some confidence is growing with these other teams.
Well, in 92, I was broadcasting the Tournament of the Americas when they had the first Dream Team. They were qualifying. Magic Johnson was posted up in the lane against a player, I forget which country it was, and the guy was yelling on the bench to get his picture taken while Magic was posting, and that has changed now. That's not the way this is.
While the game is going on.
While the game was going on. Get my picture being posted by Magic Johnson.
Buckheim Dumacy misses the first free throw. Dumacy, a terrific defender. In fact, he's one of the reasons why they're playing in this game, because when they faced Canada in the quarterfinals, he completely shut down Steve Nash. Nash was maybe the MVP of this tournament prior to that game, and Nash really had a nightmare game thanks to Dumacy's defense.
They forced Nash into 9 turnovers, which is very uncharacteristic. We'd seen Steve Nash early in the tournament against Australia, 15 assists, totally controlled the game, and had got his team into the #1 seed in Group B, and then France with a surprising win, but a lot about what you talked about, Domace's defense, where he came out and just took him out of the game.
Meanwhile, Rigaudot picks up his third foul, and as Doug mentioned, 5 fouls and you're disqualified in international ball. There's a lot of different rule differences. We mentioned on the three-point shot, it's just 20 feet 6 inches. One key one is on the shot clock, which is a 30-second shot clock. It's reset on the release of the ball. Doesn't have to hit any rim. And that sometimes has caused confusion for the United States players.
Well, also, too, in the Olympics, one of the things I've seen with international coaches, a guy picks up 3 fouls, they leave him on the floor. In many instances, we've seen a guy get 4, early in the game and really be in trouble. In the NBA, you see a guy get 2, he's usually taken out of the game. If he gets his 3rd, he sits out the rest of the half. That's not the case here. They leave the guys out. If they get fouls, so be it.
That's right. As Dumassi comes across the screen. There's Jim Bilba, their captain. Palmer right back to Bilba. Shot clock down to 7. Excellent defense from the United States. Dumassi falling away. Knocks it down. The defender with some offense. But it's a 15-point USA lead as we approach 7 minutes remaining in the first half. A turnover. Sciarra running the floor. Passes back. One too many, and Palmer can't handle it, and then just grabs a hold of Ray Allen. And free throws coming up for the United States.
Now, if the name Crawford Palmer sounds familiar to you, Mike, he played at Duke when they won the NCAA championship in '91. He takes the foul here against Ray Allen, then transferred to Dartmouth. He felt like he was not going to get a lot of playing time at Duke his senior year, so he wanted to play, so he went to Dartmouth, has now come to France and made a career for himself playing for the French team. Done very well.
Well, Ray Allen has really started to make a name for himself in these Olympic Games. Most people who don't see Ray Allen on a regular basis, they just think, oh, he's a great shooter. But he is so much more than that. He's proved that. He's opened the eyes even of his own teammates.
He's one of the guys that I have really enjoyed watching play. He's unflappable. You don't see real highs and lows in his game. You see the quiet tenacity of his game, but he's a complete player. I think his next step is, as a leader, leading that Milwaukee team deep into the playoffs. And they have a chance. They've made some nice changes in the offseason.
Beautiful block by Baker, but a foul. And you mentioned being a leader. He got a talk from Gary Payton, who told him that's what he needed to do to take the next step. The lead is 17.
The phone is your playing field. Connect to the world. Access the web. You have the power to do it all, right in the palm of your hand. And the sound of your voice takes you anywhere you want to go.
Michael. Hey, Coach, we did it.
Wireless, digital, Samsung. Everyone's invited.
Gentlemen, we're eating dinner on Mars.
Sounds good to me.
It will shock you.
We're on target.
It will grip you. It will lure you in.
I'm gonna die on this planet.
And blow you away. Val Kilmer, Carrie-Anne Moss, Tom Sizemore. Red Planet. This film is not yet rated. Starts Friday, November 10th at a theater near you.
Look out, he's coming through.
Sorry. Oh,
yes! Anybody need lotion? Anybody?
A soybean crop yields a more bountiful harvest. A patient has a medicine she needs. A boy can survive a childhood disease. A cotton crop helps protect itself from certain pests. Because discoveries in biotechnology are helping to treat our sick and protect our crops. Biotechnology researchers test and test to find new solutions. Solutions that are improving lives today and could improve our world tomorrow.
Looks like we're low on gas.
Hey, who's ready for a pit stop? Go, 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 go! They're out of barbecue. Butter nacho cheese.
NASCAR is coming to NBC and TBS Superstation July 2001.
United States a 13-point lead, just over 5.5 remaining in the first half. They've been up by as many as 17, but once again started to turn the ball over again. United States with 12 turnovers, France with just 7. And Doug, one of the crazy stats of these Olympic Games, the United States is averaging more turnovers than their opponent.
Yeah, I would never have thought that you would have seen that statistic. I think there's a couple reasons. First of all, I think you have to give credit to the international play. The guards have gotten better. They take care of the basketball, so they're not as turnover prone. They handle pressure better. But secondly, I think with the United States, they try a lot of spectacular plays. Maybe a play that's not there. You try to force it through. Also, they have 4 offensive fouls in this game where they've gone in there and tried to run over people and not understanding that these guys are not going to block their shots. They're going to take charges. So we've seen 4 turnovers with that today.
Sciarra coming up. France is only shooting 21% from the field. The defense a big reason. Kidd with another steal. And Dumassi bumps into him. Kidd takes a little exception to it, but again, that's international ball. That's the way they do things. They bump you to make sure you stop.
This is what the United States wants to do. That's the turnover. Jason Kidd, the leader. You know, Jason Kidd has been terrific. You know, you want to pick out a point guard that has been absolutely magnificent. You can talk about Jasikevičius from Lithuania and what he did for his team to help lead them to the bronze. But, you know, Jason Kidd's one of these guys where his numbers like 6 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists he's averaging. But more important, his intangibles. When he comes into the game, just what he gives as a winner. And he has really matured throughout his career. He struggled a little bit in Dallas early. He's gotten married. He has a family now. And you could just see a real piece about Jason Kidd playing great ball.
He's videotaped almost the entire game as Sciarra puts it in and a foul. He's had that video camera Kidd has wherever he's gone.
This is the improved play of the guards in international basketball once again. Sciarra driving the ball hard to the basket here. He's a right-handed player using that left hand off the glass. United States tries to come over and block the shot, but used to be you did not see the international players try to penetrate against the United States. They sort of played frayed. They passed the ball side to side and played a much more perimeter-oriented game. Now you're seeing dribble penetration and big guys that can shoot, and that causes some problems.
Well, that will bring the question, especially after the Lithuania game. Is the rest of the world catching up again? The rest of the world caught up when it was the college stars. Are they catching up again, or is this United States team one that just has had some bad games and maybe hasn't meshed well?
I think it depends on what style of ball you're playing. Are you playing NBA rules or internationally? If you're playing international rules, they have narrowed the gap a little bit. If it's an NBA game, they have it, and I'll tell you why. It's because the United States game in the NBA is geared toward your stars. You have illegal defense. There's more one-on-one play. In international, it's more team play. It's 5-man basketball. They can get back into a zone. It's a trapezoidal lane. You can take a big guy out of the play a little bit. And so those changes, those little nuances, help the international players who play those kind of rules.
When you talk about teams playing well together, that's really been the case because this United States team at times has not meshed very well, whereas a lot of these teams like France and Lithuania, they play together frequently. They play in the European Championships. They play in the World Championships. They have a lot of games together under their belt.
Well, you know, I compare it a little bit to the Ryder Cup. The United States in the Ryder Cup in a 2-man competition struggle. You get into individual, and that's where they really, you know, thrive. And it's a little bit like this. The United States always geared to a little bit more individual play, and that's just the way it is.
Crawford Palmer knocks it down, and the lead cut to 13, just over 4.5 remaining in the first. Houston, Hardaway, Mourning, Abdul Rahim in the game as Houston tried to get down low to him, and France comes the other way. Dumassi shut off nicely by Hardaway, knocked out of bounds. He lost it. USA ball. Good defense from Tim Hardaway.
Sonko with a nice cross-court pass. Crawford Palmer pulls up and after faking the pass, shoots a little open jump shot. So there again, the ability to handle this pressure defense. You get a trap, get a man in the middle of the floor, open up a nice little jump shot as you see Kevin Garnett back into the game.
You know, with all the talk about the close calls and not playing well, they are still 7-0 and most likely will win the gold medal as Mourning backs away. And it is unfair to compare them to the 96 and 92 team, but they really have played below expectations.
Well, I think the thing about it is if you went to a man after this is all said and done, even with the gold medal, and said, was it harder than you thought it was going to be? I think they'd all say yes. We thought that we would beat these teams more handily. So I think that they've now respected the international players maybe a little bit more than when they started.
You would hope that they would. Silva kicks it out. Sonko down to Palmer. Garnett right in his face, and Palmer nails it. Crawford Palmer brings France with an 11. Hardaway stripped but fouled. Sonko on a reach in. And France, of course, in the penalty, so Tim Hardaway will shoot a few.
I think we keep sitting here and waiting, Mike, for the United States to go on this run to push this game open. But France, you've got to give them a lot of credit. They're continuing to execute. They have not panicked in any way. When they've gotten behind, they've hung in there. They continue to execute their offense, and they're within 11 now. Remember, in the Lithuania game in the semifinals, Hardaway hit a 3 to put the United States up 12. They were up 14 in the second half. And Lithuania went on a 17-2 spurt to take the lead. From there on in, it was an even game throughout. So the one thing the United States has not done is put teams away. They've allowed them to hang around.
And as we said, like in the game against Lithuania, it's becoming more of the rule than the exception. Bilba, Risacher spotting up. Three-pointer won't go down. And Hardaway last touched it, so France will hold on with 3:13 remaining. Bilba. And now Sanko will take it out of bounds. Some of the crowd now starting to cheer for France as they're trying to get back in. And Vince Carter, I don't know if he mistimed it, but he's hurt himself afterwards. And Carter's shaken up on the play. He seemed to have a pretty clear path.
Let's watch as he plants that left leg to go up strong here with the dunk. He's going to get bumped just a little bit. I think when he comes down hard, he just sort of jars himself a little bit. I don't see any particular thing that happened there. Really what happened was the guy from France, Sanko, ran in front of him. I think Vince Carter thought he was going to contest his shot. He sort of took his eye off the basket, and he missed the dunk.
But now, okay, as Allen Houston hits the first free throw. Carter said one thing that he's enjoyed from his Olympic experience is taking a little bit from all of his teammates, learning more about the game. He admits he's never won a championship, wants to become better, and knows he's a target now because of his elite status. Dilmassi trapped inside, somehow gets it out to Bilba. Under 3 minutes remaining, first half, United States with a 14-point advantage.
Can the United States push it to over 20 in the last just a little under 3 minutes? Let's see, Mike, if they can get their defense to put this game away.
Bilba on a pull-up. And a foul called as Risacher tried to tip it in. Tim Hardaway smiling. And more free throws coming up as Hardaway picks up his first. Alonzo Mourning, he's got to be tired after all the flying he did to get back home to his wife and be there for the birth of his daughter. Missed those 2 games. In fact, he missed the first game against France. And he's such an important part of what they do defensively.
Well, he's the guts of their interior defense. When he and Kevin Garnett are in the game together, that's a very formidable front line defensively. Remember now, Shaquille O'Neal is not playing. He decided that he wanted to spend some time with his family after a long season with the Lakers. Tim Duncan was supposed to be on this team. He came off knee surgery. So the United States really doesn't have what you call a big dominating center. This is a front line really of power forwards.
Hardaway, a long three off the mark. Rebound, Rigaudot. You know, when the Duncans and Hills went out and they didn't get any other big people, there really wasn't any cry for anyone at that size. But now you see they really could have used a few as Bilba flips it up there. And Antonio McKnight's called for the foul. And the crowd cheering. The United States has been, in terms of the crowd, they've had a tough time because the crowd always going for the underdog, although the crowd for this one's been a little quiet thus far. They watched Australia.
Yeah, that's why they thought the Boomers were going to be playing today against the United States. And Australia, France just put on a clinic against them in the semifinals. They picked them apart offensively. They took Shane Heal, Andrew Gaze out of the game, won that game handily. And then Australia came back today and lost in the bronze medal game against Lithuania. Lithuania very, very much deserved a bronze medal. And Australia, disappointment. They thought they had a chance to win their first medal ever in men's basketball, and they lose 2 games, so that will not happen.
And it deflated the place earlier as Houston gets it to McDyess. Antonio McDyess line drive. McDyess said in the Lithuania game he just didn't want to be the one to make the mistake down the stretch. But he made some huge plays to help the United States advance to this final.
Well, he got the offensive rebound and the stick back, then the big jump ball.
Rigaudot can't hit it. They're now 0 of 7 from three-point range, Doug.
Well, you got to lock out on the perimeter. That's what you do, and that's what the strength of this French team is. Allen Houston spotting up for the 3, but the strength of their team is in their perimeter game. So what you do is you get up and you take away the three-point shot and make them do something that they don't want to do. That's a game plan defensively. And the United States has done a nice job with that as they've built a 13-point lead.
Well, once again, more fouls. Vince Carter picks up his third, and France will shoot their 18th and 19th free throws of this first half.
Well,
Ray Allen comes back in.
You and I looked across during the semifinals. Rudy T in the last minute of that game, the look on his face. And then more relief than joy when the United States was able to win it. You have to think in his situation, he's really in a no-win situation. If he wins, he's supposed to, and if he loses, it's like, Coach, what did you do? So this is not an easy spot for Rudy T.
No, sir. As Rigaudot misses both. Rigaudot really having an off shooting game. United States still with a 13-point advantage coming up on a minute remaining. Ray Allen spotting up. Easy three-pointer for Ray Allen.
Now that was perfect. Zoe goes right to the foul line. Little zone defense. You throw it right into the lane and you kick out, and Ray Allen shoots the three so nicely. That's what you have to do to attack that zone. Gene Cady, the assistant from Purdue, worked on him yesterday and today a little bit, just talking about how to attack the zone defense.
Cady, one of the assistants with Tubby Smith and Larry Brown. Brown, by the way, the first American male to both coach and play in the Olympics. Played in the '64 gold medal team. Bilba, tough fall away shot. Mourning the rebound. And the United States again in control. A 16-point advantage in the final minute of the first half. France said that this was going to be a fun game for them because the expectations weren't there to be here. They said they would come to play, and they're playing hard, but they're just not hitting their shots. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Houston, and France will take over for one final shot of the half.
Well, in about 2 weeks, Alonzo Mourning's going to be hearing in his ear to Pat Riley, don't leave your feet to make that pass. That's a turnover, as we have to let the fans know that this United States team will be flying back, and they'll have just a little time off. They got to go right into training camp. So the big difference here between the United States men and women, the women's season is over. They got a little chance to rest. The men are going back to a long NBA season. They're just starting.
Sciarra off the mark. Mourning tips it away. Sciarra again goes in. Mourning a block but a foul. And that's what makes it difficult for the USA. Although Mourning, when he goes back, he's going to have Pat Riley saying, listen, I want to introduce you to this new teammate,
That's right.
that new teammate.
That's right. This is Anthony Mason, and this is Eddie Jones. This is Brian Grant. They have just re-signed Tim Hardaway to a one-year deal for $12 million. So should be a productive trip here for Tim Hardaway to get a $12 million deal, maybe a gold medal and a chance to go home and have a chance now with Miami. They'll be one of those teams in the East that's battling once again to try to get to the NBA Finals. They've been close, but could never get past the Chicago Bulls or the New York Knicks. They broke their heart on occasion.
See how well they mesh early on in the season. Might take a little while. But certainly some big-time talent for the Heat. Final seconds of the first half. Hardaway almost puts it in. That appeared like he released it after the buzzer, but they were going to let it go. Rudy Tomjanovich in the United States now 20 minutes away from a gold medal. They lead France by 14 points, 46-32. Now let's go to Bob Costas.
Mike, thanks very much. France actually had an early lead, 7-6, whereupon the U.S. went on an 11-0 run, and it hasn't been close since. Well, we have a chance. In men's soccer, an unlikely team played in the gold medal game on Saturday in Sydney. Cameroon, a surprise to everyone, versus Spain. The Spaniards took a 2-0 lead at the half, but Cameroon came back. We pick it up. They're still trailing 2-1, still early in the second half, and here's Andres Cantor.
The ball played for Boma. It's a foot race. The ball played in the middle, and Cameroon has a tie. Cameroon goal!
It was tied through regulation and 2 overtimes, forcing a shootout where Spain's Amaya added to the drama.
Amaya hit the crossbar, and Cameroon now with a golden opportunity.
Pierre Womé stepped up with a chance to clinch gold for Cameroon. Again, Andres Cantor.
This is it. Everything on the line. Olympic history being made. In Australia, Womé against Aransubia for the gold medal. Womé, goal! first time the gold medal at the Olympics.
It's true, not just in soccer, first gold medal of any kind for Cameroon. For the second straight Olympics, an African nation wins the gold medal in men's soccer. Nigeria had won it in Atlanta in '96. Another piece of news here, Australia's Luke Longley, who was traded recently to the New York Knicks by the Phoenix Suns, will be out 8 to 10 weeks with a knee injury. He didn't play in the Aussies' bronze medal loss to Lithuania after injuring it in the semifinals against France. And we'll send you back to the gold medal game after this break.
Still to come from Sydney. As soon as we return, the second half of the gold medal final in men's basketball. The world's best basketball players gunning for gold against upstart France. That's coming up as soon as we return to Sydney after this break for your local news.
You've waited all summer. Now the best night of television is back. The premiere of Must See TV Thursday with 2 back-to-back episodes of All New Friends. Plus the premieres of Emmy winner Will and Grace and Just Shoot Me. All this and the amazing ER premiere. Must See TV The Premiere, 1 week from Thursday on NBC.
Why is everybody in Orlando so excited about cash and carry? Let's find out. Now, how is the produce here? It says pretty legendary produce.
Very good, very fresh. I buy all my produce here at Cash and Carry.
And you don't have to buy a whole box or a bag and pick out what you want.
Everything's fresh, and you can go through and you can hand pick.
They're always fresh and clean, displayed nicely. You can pick them up and examine them.
So if you ever decide to go vegetarian, this is the place to do it.
Fruit platters from Cash and Carry. As fresh gets. You guys look great. Do a terrific job.
This mystery of the missing $500,000 must be cleared up. And somebody here knows where it is. Plum? Who the blazes are you?
I'm Gus.
What do you think this is? Some sort of a game?
Yeah, got it in the Sunday paper.
Clear up the Sprint PCS Clue mystery and you could win $500,000. Get your game piece and great savings in your newspaper and at participating retailers.
At home. At play. At sparkling occasions. At your service merchandise. For your jewelry, for your place. Your time to shine. All diamonds up to 50% off now at Service Merchandise. We're at your service. Service Merchandise.
Where the news comes first. You're watching WESH News Channel 2.
Good evening, I'm Claire Metz.
And I'm Terry Sater. We'll send you back to the Olympics in just a few minutes without missing any of the action. But first, separate car crashes killed 3 children today and left 2 others in the hospital tonight. The deadliest crash happened this afternoon in southeast Orange County on Hoffner Road between State Road 436 and Conway. Troopers say for some reason the woman driving the car swerved into a ditch and slammed into a culvert. She had 3 children in the car, and even though they were buckled in, 2 of the kids were badly hurt. An 8-year-old girl died this afternoon, and tonight a 7-year-old boy died in the hospital. The 3rd child is stable. In the second accident today, there were also 3 children involved. A 12-year-old girl died. Troopers say the car Deidre Phillips was riding in ran a stop sign and was hit by another car at Rouse Road and Buck Road in Orange County. Deidre was not wearing a seatbelt. Another child is in the hospital in stable condition. The driver, 28-year-old Charlotte Phillips, and a 3rd child are okay tonight.
In just a little while, at midnight, Brevard County callers are in for a big change, one they better get used to. The new 321 area code will be the rule. The grace period for using the old 407 is over then. Bell South Mobility and other cellular providers have been getting the word out in bills, notices, and recorded messages. But there are some customers who still may need to pay a visit to a service center to make sure their cell phones keep working. In particular, those who use analog cell phones, they must be changed manually. It's been rough at the beach today. The sun was in and out, the rain coming in buckets at times, and all along, winds really gusting. Along the coast, that led to rough waters with seas kicking between 4 and 9 feet and rip current conditions forming. That kept a lot of people away from the world's most famous beach. Lifeguards have been warning swimmers and surfers to stay close. Rip currents can undermine even the strongest swimmers. In fact, the heavy surf advisory is still in effect all along the Central Florida coast from Flagler County south to Jupiter Inlet.
We want to get a check of the weather now.
Marty Stebbins, live from the Super Doppler 2 Storm Center. Marty, how are we shaping up now?
Well, it looks like the winds are still out there out of the northeast. They'll be rather gusty during the overnight hours, but it looks like the rain has more or less ceased. However, some locations around Central Florida, particularly in Seminole County, picking up about an inch and a quarter of rain this afternoon as the winds help propel the rain into the interior sections. Well, I'll tell you what, we have a doozy on our hands. We're talking about Hurricane Keith right there just off the Yucatan Peninsula. Keith's at 115 miles an hour, moving slowly to the west at 2 miles an hour at 18.1 north, 87.1 west. The central pressure at 960 millibars. Here's the projected path over the next 72 hours. There's quite a variance there, but it looks like Keith is going to try to get up into the south central Gulf of Mexico. We're really going to have to watch this storm very, very carefully. And then further out, way out, it's Tropical Storm Joyce with 45-mile-an-hour winds, barely a tropical storm, moving off to the west-northwest at about 13 miles an hour. Projections do put it in the Caribbean, though, during the next 72-hour period. And as far as tonight is concerned, mostly cloudy and breezy, winds out of the northeast to 10 to 15 miles an hour. We'll have a few showers tomorrow. Terry?
All right, thanks, Marty. As of this weekend, the world has existed for 5,761 years, according to believers of the Jewish faith. Jews gathered in synagogues and community centers throughout Central Florida today to observe the Sabbath and honor Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. The holiday started at sundown last night and runs through Yom Kippur, October 8th. Our pictures are from outside the temple today because, as one rabbi told us, Jews should refrain from using electricity, writing, or speaking into microphones during Rosh Hashanah. There's more Olympic action on tonight's late-night schedule.
You bet. Beginning at 12:30, freestyle wrestling finals, and then track and field, the men's 5,000-meter final. Look forward to it.
And that's our time for now.
We'll take you back to the action in Sydney, and we'll see you right here again after the game. The competition looks good, so enjoy and join us in just a little while.
How do you measure a news leader? By the commitment to responsibly cover your world. By the depth of specialized reporters who are experts in their fields. By the promise to stay ahead in an ever-changing world. You'll find this news leader right here in Central Florida. WESH News Channel 2. Where the news comes first.
Journeys you'll take in life, this is the ultimate. A raging water coaster ride into the world's deepest mystery. Enter the realm of SeaWorld's newest adventure. Journey to Atlantis. Experience a whole new world right here at SeaWorld.
Just past 2 p.m. in Sydney, halftime of the gold medal game at the Sydney Superdome. The United States leading France 46-32. Thoughts on the first half, Doug?
Well, I thought the United States, once again, they're rebounding. They out-rebounded France by 12, but that turnover, it's amazing. They had 5 more turnovers than France and committed 18 fouls. So, again, those two things that the United States have struggled with, they continue to, but they do have a 14-point lead and are 20 minutes away from a gold medal.
The defense has been excellent as France shooting only 29%. And off that missed three-pointer now, 0 for 9 from three-point range. Frederick Weiss misfires. Houston picks it up. Weiss did not play a lot, only 5 minutes in the first half. He picked up 3 quick fouls and not a factor at all. Mourning steps back and nails the jumper. Lonzo Mourning gives the United States a 16-point lead. This place once again has become extremely quiet. I'm about ready to go into my golf play-by-play. The nice quiet whispers. Rigaud unable to get on track at all in that first half, and he's their leading scorer. It was just 1 of 4 from the field. Palmer playing with aggression, puts it in. Crawford Palmer with 8 points as he's tied for the team lead.
That really was a nice defensive sequence by the United States. It was a twisting, sort of a circus shot that Palmer hit, but they forced France to really work hard for those 2 points. And the United States here to start this half, count on their defense to break this game open. Mike, we've talked about it over and over through the Olympics, and that's sort of what we're expecting here is for the United States defense to push this out to a 20-25 point lead, but they just have not been able to do that.
More often than not, that has not been the case, especially over the last few games. Of course, the Lithuania game that went down to the buzzer. Against Russia in the quarterfinals, they were down by 10. In the France game in the prelims, they were down by 10. Sciarra, long three. And they're still without a 3-point field goal. Carter the other way. Draws the foul. Shot won't go, but he'll shoot a couple. France looks a little tired right now. They were very emotional after their semifinal win, and it was a big deal in France. Front page news on all the papers there, and that's rare for basketball.
Well, Vince Carter does a nice job here, sort of across the grain move, and he used Kevin Garnett sort of as a moving screen. He ran his defender right into his own man, and so Carter once again with that nice little jackknifing move into the lane where he hangs and gets the foul.
Carter nails them both. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Rudy Tomjanovich had a 14-point lead at halftime, but he was very nervous. He told his players, listen, we've been here before. You know what happened when we played Lithuania. We got to come out with the same aggression we came out at the beginning of the game when they went on that 14-2 run. So he's very worried about these first few minutes.
All right, Craig, I don't think he'll have to tell them that twice because I'm sure they're very well aware. Riccado just got bumped out of bounds, but he stepped on the baseline, so it'll turn it around. As the players certainly, there was some very anxious moments in that game.
And, you know, Mike, in fairness to the United States, sometimes their effort is there with the defense and all, but you got to give credit to France and some of these teams are playing. They've been able to handle that kind of pressure defense. They have not wilted and thrown the ball away and then just quit. And like we've seen in many situations before, they've hung in there even with deficits and continued to play. Lithuania almost pulled out a miracle the other day doing that.
Riccado, nice feet inside, and Sciarra able to put it in. That cuts it to 14. 2.5 gone by second half. And something we've discussed frequently, for the United States, again, with all these players, normally in an NBA game, they play 35 to 40 minutes a game. Here, most of them are playing around 20 as Allen Houston comes off the screen and misfires. And sometimes tough to get into a flow for these guys.
It's very difficult when you sit on that bench. You're used to being a starter. You come in. You know, Mike, a lot of these guys have been in the league for a while. And all of a sudden, you get some aches and pains. You get a sore knee or an ankle or whatever. You come in. It's very difficult to get warmed up. You look at Hardaway's had knee problems, foot problems. Steve Smith with a knee through the years. You see all the sleeves, the knee sleeves. These guys have aches and pains. You sit there for a while. You come in. It takes you a while to get going. Whereas in an NBA game, you get out there, you get in the flow. You might not touch the ball for a while and then score 8 or 10 points in a hurry. So that is a big adjustment for these guys, but they have done it very well.
They call a personal foul on Alonzo Mourning, and then a technical foul as well has been called on Mourning. So that's the second technical. And as we said earlier in the game, Doug, the United States in these Olympics, early in the Olympic games that is, should never receive a technical foul. Not one. I don't care what the circumstance is.
I agree with that. And you, again, I think the frustration of these guys when they get banged around, you know, a lot of these guys are used to, you know, they get banged around in the NBA and, you know, they get the benefit of a lot of the calls going to the free throw line. Here, to these international referees, they're just another player. They're not a star player that they're reffing. It's just like any other guy.
And the United States with a 13-point lead, just over 3 minutes gone by, second half, the gold medal game against France.
The games of the 27th Olympiad on NBC are sponsored by Texaco, a world of energy. By Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza. By Net Zero, free internet access and free email forever. Call 1-800-DEFENDER. And by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
What would you do with a crystal face able to withstand 2 tons of unadulterated pressure? Or a tachymetric scale so precise it can survive 240-degree heat? What would you do with the world-renowned Alpha Expedition timepiece?
Well, you'd probably just use it to tell time. And at $6,500, that watch could cost you over $30,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Who wants some water? Hey, great. Water? Water? Water?
great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Come on, I'll split it with you.
I'll take $10 on Office Boy.
Make it a Bud Light. Ooh, nice.
If you've got a business to run, Staples has everything you need at guaranteed low prices.
Uh-huh. We got to get that contract signed.
Sir, did you order the Kung Pao chicken?
Yeah, it's going to be a long night.
Staples, yeah, we've got that.
Imagine a world where coffee breaks last all day. And where your cup is always full.
Thank you.
It's where the coffee world meets the cyber world, and you can be there with the new smart Visa cards with remarkable chip technology. And at the Web Shack Cafe in London, you can buy your coffee with Visa, but not American Express, not even Blue. Learn more at visa.com.
Five minutes gone by, second half. Gary Payton nails the jumper, and the United States have now equaled their largest lead of the game, a 17-point lead over France. As the gold medal gets closer. France, if they lose this game and win the silver, that will equal their best. Again, back in 1948, they lost to the United States in the gold medal game. One of France, that's their best finish. Had not played in the Olympics in basketball since '84. As Risacher nails that three-pointer. Warning spotting up. Frederick Weiss puts a hand up. Warning off the mark. Garnett tips it to Payton. You know, we mentioned about how it was on all the front pages, their victory in the semifinals. Soccer and cycling are still the key sports there. And rarely does basketball ever get played up more than those sports. But it's been a nice, real nice run for this French team as Garnett gets the roll.
That's Kevin Garnett's first basket of the game. He actually did not take a shot in the first half. He's 1 for 3 now in the second half, so he's starting to look to be a little bit more aggressive now going to the basket. You know, great story last night, Mike. I know you broadcast the game with Annie in the women's championship game and all, but the men were here in force watching the game, supporting the team, the women's soccer team that got silver. It was really a great scene to see the different teams come out and support the United States women in their quest for gold last night in a very pro-Australian crowd. It was fun to see. Kevin Garnett coming across the lane and getting that little jump shot that he gets such great extension, and very difficult to block that shot because he's so tall and he gets those arms above his head. Very soft shooting touch. Early in his career, his shot was a little flat. He's worked very, very hard with Kevin McHale and Flip Saunders there in Minnesota to work on his shooting. Actually shot almost 38% from the three-point line, so continuing to get better and better as his career goes on.
He told us he's going to have a talk with Flip when he gets back as Morning dunks it, because he asked Flip before the games, what's Rudy Tomjanovich like? And he said, Rudy, oh, he'll be fine. He'll take care of you. He'll take it easy. Well, he's not taking it easy. They've had some rough practices, and Kevin said, I think Flip lied to me.
Well, I think that what Kevin also saw was Sciarra going off the glass for that little running drive, but it's what you saw in 92 and 96. Really, the competition and the practices was so much what the guys look forward to, the intensity and playing against guys that they've known throughout their careers, and then getting in a chance in the practice situations. And you and I were in Hawaii with the team as they were practicing. We saw some spirited matchups.
Tomjanovich has put them through those tough workouts, and right now their lead is 14, second half here in Sydney.
Congratulations to yesterday's winner of the all-new 2002 GMC Envoy. Log on to NBC.com for NBC's continuing Olympic coverage.
Engineer Thad Stump wanted to give a full-size SUV the moves of a soccer star, which is why his team completely re-engineered the suspension on the Yukon XL and tightened the turning radius to make it surprisingly agile. The next time you pull into a tight parking spot, somewhere Thad Stump is thinking, goal!
In a world of sometime over-commercialization and endless official sponsorship,
it's nice to sit back and take a moment to simply marvel at the inherent beauty of Olympic sport. Okay, moment over. Visa, the only card accepted at the Olympic Games of the new millennium.
Choose one. Either Wendy's delicious classic double with cheese or Heather.
What was that again?
Choose either Wendy's classic double made fresh so it's very hot and juicy or Heather.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Well?
Heather?
That's never happened before.
Yeah, I knew it. We should have added biggie fries and a drink.
Wendy's classic double with cheese, bliss, at least when it comes to hamburgers.
Where's Eric then?
He never misses a market.
It was a bad squall last night.
Maybe he ran up on some rocks.
Maybe he was swept overboard.
Maybe he drowned.
Or sharks.
Maybe he already sold his catch online from the boat.
Sharks.
Now you can sell anything from anywhere. Wireless e-business from IBM.
Jason Kidd and the United States leading by 16 here in the second half. Kidd said after the Lithuania game that somebody asked him, what would have happened if you guys lost? Well, he said 12 guys would have had to change identity. He also felt that for international basketball, everybody was rooting for Lithuania and felt that if Lithuania got the gold medal, they would have had to split it with every other country.
Well, he also said, you know, we would not have been able to go to another country. We'd have had to start our own country. There wouldn't have been any dual citizenship. So he was expressed himself rather well about the impact of that game the other day.
And you pointed out he was the first American player to go over to the Lithuanians and say, hey, congratulations, you guys fought a great game. Juarez, the rebound, but got hit and then trips up Steve Smith. And a foul's going to be called on Forrest.
That loose ball is on the floor, and you can see Forrest going down. He just sort of takes the legs out from Steve Smith. Steve Smith has played very well this summer. He's had problems with his legs in the past. A nice little alley-oop to Ben Baker. When we talked to Steve, we talked about how well he was moving this summer, and he said he's done a lot of swimming. He's gotten in the pool, done a lot of therapy. He said his legs have never felt better, and he's very, very excited about going back to Portland. They've added now Dale Davis and Sean Kemp to that team as Sciarra knocks in the three, so they feel very strongly they're going to be knocking on the door with the Lakers once again this year in that Western Conference.
And he's enjoyed his run. Meanwhile, France with the three-pointers, not been many of those, just their second in 13 attempts. Smith, Baker on the offensive rebound and a late whistle as he pushed off to get it. The French players are saying, why didn't the official underneath call? We have seen, and again, with only two officials, it's hard for them, but we've seen some very bad officiating and bad for everybody.
Well, you know, in fairness, as fast as the game is today, we've seen it in the NBA when they've gone to three officials. One of the things that happened in the NBA, there was so much things going off the ball that the referees could not see. And what you see in international play is the same thing. That's where guys get upset, where you got a referee that just normally would see that doesn't, and there's a level of frustration. The international team, the international game is going to three referees after that, and that one of the reasons is because of that. So another three-point shot by France, and they're back to within 10.
Now, here's that time you talked about. United States with a chance to blow it open, but they allow the team to get back in the game, get some confidence, get the crowd involved. Then Baker answers nicely.
It appears the United States is always one or two timely shots away from pushing the game away. It seems like they miss a couple shots. And we saw it in Lithuania. They were down the other night 14 points. They had 4 straight threes to get back into the game. We've now seen it from France. They were ice cold from 3. Now they've hit 3 straight from 3. That's that 20-foot, 6-inch line that's closer.
Bilba knocks it down, and it's 64-54. They say, though, that's a 2-pointer as we're coming up on 10.5 minutes remaining. We've talked so much about the lack of the killer instinct as Garnett throws it away. Sciarra with the steal. Juarez blocked by Baker. Rejected out of bounds. Baker has come up big the last several minutes.
Mike, there's a big difference between being a winner and a champion, as we see the great block here by Baker. All these guys are winners. There's only been one guy win any kind of championship. That's Gary Payton, a gold medal in '96. Not one of these guys has ever won a gold medal, an NCAA championship, or an NBA championship. So these guys are looking, for the most part, for the first championship, and it is not coming easy for them right now. In contrast to that, in '92, that decorated team had 18 championships, either medals, NBA, or NCAA titles. That's the difference when you talk about putting teams away.
And you're seeing it in these Olympic Games. And right now in the score, it's an 8-point game. A 10-2 run by France. Good ball movement. Ray Allen spotting up. Big three from Ray Allen. And the official asked the French players to sit down. Antonio McDyess will come in and Baker will sit down. Baker had 6 straight points at one stretch. And a big block shot. Good work from Vin Baker. The lead just 11. 9.5 remaining. Gold medal game. As the United States trying to bounce back from that close call against Lithuania. Flores leaves his feet again. Sciarra. Short. Long rebound to Kidd. They're trying to push it up the floor. Knocked away from behind. And the ball goes to Allen. Allen with another three. That's good. Ray Allen back-to-back threes.
There's the timely shooting. Game is right in the balance. They cut it to 8. Back-to-back threes to push it to 14. I like this team that Rudy's got on the floor right now. McDyess, Ray Allen, Kidd, Garnett, and Steve Smith. This is a good lineup.
Allen 3 for 3 from that range. Sciarra, no wave off the basket. No good, but Jason Kidd with a foul. Just under 9 minutes remaining. United States by 14.
All right, guys, go out there and skate hard, okay?
Imagine how dependable you have to be to carry somebody's dream. Chevy Truck, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team.
Miss Blaine, on 30 October, you were observed handing out these suspicious-looking little discs.
Those discs you refer to bestow freedom on all who possess them.
What you call freedom, I call license. A license to go willy-nilly all over the internet without paying a cent.
Well, shouldn't that be a right? Shouldn't the internet be free to us, our children, and to all people? Net Zero believes it should.
John worked tirelessly searching for the perfect thin crust pizza.
Oh, it's good, but it's not perfect.
Come on.
Love the crust, bud. That's cute, Bo.
But what evaded one of the so-called greatest minds in the pizza business was obvious to a child.
I got an idea.
And a thin crust piled high with more quality Papa John's toppings was born.
Oh, great. What took me so long?
Papa John's new thin crust. Get a Papa John's thin crust with 3 toppings for just $9.99. That's $9.99.
I wish to build a new Texaco station here, near the city of Manaus.
How many cars pass by that site each day?
None.
Trucks?
None.
Buses?
None.
What do they drive on the roads down there?
Well, there are no roads.
Today, Texaco is serving the Amazon because we're always willing to consider a new idea and see if it floats.
Go where you wanna go.
Introducing Goodyear's new and improved AquaTread 3. At highway speeds in a downpour, a set of AquaTread 3 tires pumps away over 6 gallons of water per second for outstanding wet traction. That's serious technology. Freedom from worry. The all-new 80,000-mile wet traction, dry traction AquaTread 3.
Serious freedom.
Only from Goodyear.
Goodyear, Goodyear.
Ray Allen and the United States lead by 12. 7:20 remaining in the second half. Allen with 8 straight points and a couple of threes just when France had crept within 8 as he continues to play some terrific basketball.
Well, he talked about when he left, he called some of the guys on the team, said the toughest part about coming on this trip was packing. They were going to have to go to Hawaii, then to Japan, then to Australia, to Melbourne, back here. So he said packing was very difficult. And before he left, he said, I have to admit, he said, I did leave a message on my answering machine. He said, you are reached the home of Ray Allen. I'm not home for a while, but when I come back, I'll have the gold medal. So
Sciarra nails the 3, and it's cut to 8 once again. You know, by the time these players, the United States players, get back, they'll be gone 40 days. He said one of those teammates, he wouldn't name who, said he was bringing 6 suitcases. But Allen and the United States once again have let France get back in the game. Abdur-Rahim, nice little touch inside, and it's back to double figures.
Abdur-Rahim has not had a chance to play a lot, and in fairness to him, he's a small forward, acts to play inside right now as a power position. But he was so excited, he felt like that when they went to the Dream Team, he would never have a chance to play in the Olympics. But he was honored once Grant Hill got injured and he was asked to replace him.
Of course, Grant Hill, Tim Duncan, and as we see the jump ball, Tom Gugliotta originally selected for the team, but because of injuries, had to back out. France not going down without a fight here. It's a 10-point game with 6:14 remaining. United States has been up by as many as 17, but France hanging in there as the battle for the gold continues at the Sydney Superdome.
NBC Monday. It's back to work. A new year, a new season. To give it everything we have. To be the best. The new season begins Monday on NBC.
Hi, I'm Bill. B-I-L-L, Bill.
I'm Bill. This is Frankie.
Wow and beautiful Bill.
Bill. I'm Bill.
I'm Bill.
I'm Bill!
I'm the dad, and he's the son.
Hola, soy Bill.
I'm Bill.
My mother named me Bill. I sing. I want to retire before my father did.
At Huntington, our personal bankers treat you like a unique individual because you are.
I'm Bill. Bill's a solid guy.
Huntington, service as unique as you are.
I look good in purple.
We served our first Sonny's barbecue plate in 1968. And now we're celebrating our 32nd anniversary with all the barbecue chicken and sliced pork you can eat. Served Sonny's style with French fries, coleslaw, and garlic bread. All you can eat chicken and sliced barbecue pork for just $6.99 at participating Sonny's, where the good old days just keep getting better and better. Yummy.
One of these cars was in a serious accident. Can you tell which one? It's my job to keep cars like this out of CarMax. Only 1 in 10 will make the cut. So for a great used car without the worries, come to CarMax. Discover the CarMax difference today.
At CarMax, the auto superstore, we have a great selection of new cars and up to 10 times more used cars and trucks than the average dealer. So before you drive all over town, make one stop at CarMax. Discover the CarMax difference today.
For more information on the athletes and events of the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games, log on to NBCOlympics.com.
The lead is 12 for the United States. Risacher makes it 9, knocks down the three-pointer, as France will not go away.
Well, that close line at 20 feet 6 inches, what you see a lot in the international game is you see no center in the lane. They open up the floor, drive, create spaces in the defense, and kick out the three-point shooters. All of a sudden, that three-point shot is starting to go for France now, and they've crept back into the game. But, Mike, in the first half, they were 0 for 8. And now they're starting to hit that shot. But look, there's no center in the middle. So when you help, you open up a guy on the perimeter. And that's exactly what the international teams do. They really utilize that three-point line.
And a 3-second violation down the other end. France gets it back. Sciarra, the runner, blocked but a foul. McDyess got the block, but I believe Payton bumped him. And Sciarra, who leads France in scoring with 17, will go to the line.
Sciarra once again challenging either Gary Payton or Jason Kidd, whoever's in the game. He's showing absolutely no fear of attacking two guys. Now, Gary Payton, 7-time all-league defense first team. one-time Defensive Player of the Year. Jason Kidd's second-team All-Defense. So you're looking at two of the better point guards defensively in the NBA, and he's taking the ball right at them with no fear.
And to the free throw line, where knocks down the first. Payton has had a little difficulty with him. Sciarra is a very good player. So one of his problems, though, he has a hot temper. He's had to control that in his career at times. Played some pro ball in Spain and in Italy. And now has 19 points. And this is the closest France has been in the second half. A 7-point game with 5 minutes remaining.
You're talking about 3 possessions now with under 5 minutes. That's how close they are.
Ray Allen's had some big buckets, leans in, does not get the roll. Mourning had it, lost it, picked up by Bilba, throws it away, knocked off Allen, and it's going to be France ball again. And the crowd getting behind the underdogs.
Well, it's interesting to see who Rudy T has on the floor right now with 5 minutes to go. The great hustle by Rigaud to knock the ball off Ray Allen, but he's got his 2 best scorers in Allen and Carter, his 2 best defenders inside in Garnett and Zoe with Gary Payton.
A 13-4 run by France with 4.5 remaining.
Boy, a shot here would really shock the crowd.
Rigaud, a 3-pointer, and it's a 4-point game. It's happening again.
This is amazing. You know, the United States has talked about so much about how they've learned to not allow teams to hang around. But once again, we see it here today. A great opportunity. At one time, they've led by 17 points. France, little by little, with that 3-point line, has crawled back into the game. It's now a 4-point game. You're talking about 2 possessions now. Still almost 4.5 minutes to go, Mike. This is amazing.
A 16-4 run by France, a team that came into this game with a 4-3 record. They had the worst record of all the quarterfinalists, but knocked off Canada, knocked off Australia, and now battling the United States.
You run a real risk at the end of a game when a team is playing with nothing to lose. They don't care the kinds of shot they'll take. They'll let them go because there's really no consequence if they miss it. They're expected to lose, and right now they've loosened up from behind that 3-point line, and they have shrunk this game now down to 5 minutes and 4 points.
And you go from the loose-feeling French team to the other side, and there's no question the pressure certainly increases. A little tougher to take those jumpers now for the United States.
Now, the guy that has been money for the United States has been Vince Carter. He has come up with some big baskets against Lithuania. Down 1, 43 seconds to go. He had a big shot on the baseline to give the United States the lead. Let's see if they go to Carter.
And all of a sudden, the crowd alive here at the Sydney Superdome. The American fans getting vocal once again.
Zone defense by France.
This is exactly what Lithuania did late in the game, switched back to his own. U.S. players not used to seeing that. Ray Allen, open 3. Won't go. Carter rips down the rebound. Short on the follow. Garnett with the rip. Count it, and a foul. Kevin Garnett with a chance for a 3-point play.
The U.S. rebounding. If they go on to win the gold medal, this is what will win it for them. They're rebounding. Vince Carter gets the offensive rebound. He sort of short arms it. And there's Kevin Garnett with the energy and the passion, the opportunity now for a 3-point play to push this game back to 7. You see the United States bench. Rudy T breathing a little bit easier, but still a long way to go in this game.
Garnett missed a couple of big free throws in the Lithuania game down the stretch, but that one rattles in and out. But he gives the United States a 6-point lead, just under 4 minutes remaining, still plenty of time.
Now, Allen Houston is in the game. Defensively, you're going to lose a little bit, but he is their best 3-point shooter against the zone.
This is hard to fathom, especially with what the United States did against Lithuania. Sciarra kicks it back out. Rigaud for 3. Well short. Houston may have gotten a piece of it. Here comes Payton the other way.
You have to fight your instincts of the United States when a guy drives, not to leave your man at the 3-point line. Send him to a big guy inside, but you can't leave a shooter on the perimeter.
Once again, people wondering if they're going to see the biggest upset in Olympic basketball history, which is what this would be. Garnett to Mourning. Fumbles momentarily, and a foul called on Risacher. He whacked it out of bounds. But Mourning will go to the line.
Thought Kevin Garnett made one too many passes there. He was very fortunate. Zoe had to make a tough catch, but he really has Julian underneath the basket. He could have overpowered him. Zoe fumbles the ball, but does get bailed out with a foul from behind. And Zoe was terrific against Lithuania. He was perfect in the game, had 16 points, did not miss a shot from the line or the field.
They call a foul on Bilba. That's his 4th. Mourning always takes his time at the free throw line. One rule in international ball, you're only allowed 5 seconds at the line as opposed to 10 in the NBA, but I have yet to see that called.
Nor have I.
But it wouldn't shock me to see it called in a late game situation.
That's why you can't let the game get close. You don't know what you'll see. You're talking from a guy who lived it in '72. I know what it is.
So now he has it. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. He's over the 5 second clearly. But again, we have not seen it. But that's in the rule book. It's 5 seconds. He went the full 10 there as Mourning hits clutch free throws again. The lead is up to 8.
Both teams have 8 fouls, so free throws will be shot here the rest of the way.
Sciarra has been terrific once again, leading France in scoring for the 4th straight game. Bilba comes to help.
A sense of urgency in the United States defensively. You really see them getting to those three-point shooters.
Shot clock at 5. Brigadeau tied up, lost it. Carter knocked it away, still battling for it. And a jump ball with Brigadeau and Carter. Terrific defense from Vince Carter.
Well, the United States should control this tap. Vince Carter does a nice job reaching in. The thing I like more importantly is watch him get down on the floor for this loose ball and create the jump ball. That's what you have to do. You're 2 minutes and 40 seconds away from a gold medal. The chance of a lifetime. You've got to get on the floor now for any loose ball.
Carter not known for his defense because everybody talks about the highlights, but a superb defensive player. He likes to talk about he once blocked 16 shots in a game in high school on his 18th birthday. Now he's got a jump against Brigadeau here on the tip. Garnett tracks it down. 2.5 remaining. The United States lead is 8.
France still in that zone defense. The two shooters are Carter and Allen Houston. Let's see if they can free one of them up for a jumper.
Brigadeau gets right up on Houston. Both teams in the penalty. So any foul, you go to the line. Garnett spinning, turning, banking. It's good. Kevin Garnett puts the lead back up to double figures as the United States gold medal winning women's team on hand, cheering on the men. Timeout called by France. 2:15 remaining. 10-point USA lead.
I didn't think she'd actually do it. But if she did, that was a shot I just had to get. I couldn't worry about lighting, or movement, or anything else but her.
Kodak moments happen every day. And with Kodak Max, you can capture them in sunlight, low light, action, or still.
She did it.
It's our most versatile, all-purpose film.
In today's world, you're on the go more than ever. That's why AT&T Digital One Rate has no roaming or long-distance charges in all 50 states, so you can travel from the big city to the Big Easy to the Big Island. And won't be far from the people who matter most. AT&T Digital One Rate. Now, more plans to choose from with more minutes than ever before. Wireless from AT&T.
Engineer Chuck Bazina has always been interested in weight control. He thinks a truck should know the difference between a 2-year-old kid and a half-ton of pig iron. So for the GMC Sierra, his team developed a system that comprehends weight and balances braking. It's one more way Sierra is designed to give the driver unsurpassed control. Why worry about your weight when your Sierra can do it for you?
Just before 3 Sunday afternoon in Sydney, Rudy Tomjanovich and the United States for the 2nd straight game, taken down to the final minutes. 1:56 remaining, and France within 8.
Rudy Tomjanovich very close to adding a gold medal to his 2 NBA titles in Houston. His great career there. He spent 30 years with that organization. Will this get him to a ticket to the Hall of Fame? We'll have to wait and see, but I know right now he is very, very excited.
Carter on a beautiful feed from Garnett, and the lead back up to 10. The USA fans and many more on their feet now. A reach in that time for Carter.
Well, Vince Carter with a spectacular highlights on that baseline. See, I like what's happened, though. The United States is putting a very good passing big man against that zone right at the foul line. You turn and you look right over the defense. You can see Vince Carter wide open. Zoe does a wonderful job screening the other defender on that baseline. No one there to help out against Vince Carter.
Risacher misses a big free throw. I think Rudy Tomjanovich would have liked to have seen him lay it in easily as opposed to a difficult dunk at this point. But he'll take the 2 points and 2 huge big misses right there for Risacher. But they call a lane violation on the United States.
No, we haven't seen that either.
And you've talked quite a bit about with this trapezoid lane, it's easy to get offensive rebounds off missed free throws.
Well, I actually think the guy in the second position, which is the offensive player, has a better path to the basket. You're so deep in that first lane, your tendency is to walk underneath the basket and the ball bounces over your head. We saw a lot of that. That's how McGice got the rebound against Lithuania.
Under a minute and a half remaining. The United States will look to take time off the clock. They lead by 9. Mourning on the double team. Trying to get free. Good defense there from France. And there's a foul with 8 on the shot clock. Not a smart move by the French. They waste 22 seconds and then commit the foul.
I think they've called it on Zoe. I think he got frustrated and maybe hit Julian with an elbow after he was in the double team. But that's the frustration. Zoe got double teamed. I think he got hit a few times, took exception to it, and took the foul.
So France still alive. We've got to start thinking about 3 soon. Coming up on a minute remaining, down by 9. Risacher. Julian gets inside. Banker won't go. Kidd with a rebound. And Kidd just says, let's stay calm as he brings it up the floor and gives it to Payton. The 2 guys from Oakland in the backcourt together on the verge of winning a gold medal as Rigaud commits the foul with 42 seconds remaining and a 9-point United States lead.
Now, Jason Kidd grew up idolizing Gary Payton. They've had one-on-one battles throughout their careers. Jason Kidd, when he was in high school, one of the best high school players in the country, used to go play against Gary Payton. Gary Payton said, "I'll never let you beat me." And what a great learning experience that was for Jason Kidd as he learned up playing against one of the better point guards in the NBA to ever really play.
Payton knocks down the free throws. Lead is 10 as he hits the second. 85-75, 10-point lead. Risacher turns it over. Payton and Kidd forcing the turnover. Here comes Payton underneath. Carter on the follow. And they're going to wave it off.
What's this?
He said no basket. The official said no basket. Timeout has been called.
I don't know what this rule is, but is he ruling that you cannot pass off the backboard? Because this is a pass. Payton is passing this ball. He doesn't miss the layup. He's passing the ball off the backboard to Carter.
I'm wondering if they're saying there was a timeout call before. Maybe Rudy Tomjanovich called timeout as they was coming up the floor. There's confusion, though, on the United States bench. And also smirks as they can't believe the call. Payton with the interesting assist. There's 31.4 seconds remaining. The lead is 10, so it appears the United States will hold on and win the gold medal, but still not without some challenges down the stretch for the 2nd straight game.
I think the United States trying to sort through this. What exactly was the call as Jason Kidd, one of the captains, and Gary Payton, another captain, out speaking to the official, trying to find exactly what is going on here and why that does not count.
And the 2 officials, one from Lithuania and one from Brazil, can't get their attention, and they're ready to put the ball back in play now. The official apparently saying that now it's offensive interference. That's the word we're getting. I don't understand that call at all. Thierry Gadou in the game. Francis needs to put it up. The time winding down.
I give a lot of respect to these international teams. They have made the United States work for this gold medal.
Risacher throws it behind the backboard and has a...
Well, Gary Payton slapped him upside the arm. That ball went behind the basket. Even the United States players are laughing at that.
And they can finally exhale, finally smile. It was not the easy road that many expected. Some difficult games, including this one. But the United States, once again, wins the gold medal.
I tell you, I hope they really take the opportunity to enjoy this moment. You know, Mike, when I look back on my career in '72 with all the fiasco that happened at the end of that game, one of the things I miss is that feeling of representing your country, getting that gold medal, standing up on that platform, and having them play the national anthem. And it brings out every bit of patriotism in you as an athlete. And I hope these athletes will take the time to savor that moment, because throughout my life, it's something that I've missed, and this brings it to life more than anything I ever do.
Nice sportsmanship between the United States and France after the game, as now they can celebrate. And absolutely, Doug, again, it was a tough road for them. They took some criticism. They took some close calls, ones that were not expected whatsoever. But when they get up on that podium and they bend down and have the medal placed around their neck, perhaps now they'll say it was well worth all the trouble. So it's golds in basketball for the United States men and the women. Final score in the gold medal game, United States 85, France 75.
No matter where we go in life, we each take a part of our family with us. Their support and applause, their nurturing and caring, their unique way of seeing the world. Our families give us the courage to be curious and the heart to have hope. They teach us what it means to be generous, how important it is to laugh, and what it's like to be loved every single day. And whether you've picked up your first gold medal or dropped your first fly ball, they'll always be there to tell you that no one has ever done it quite like you. Here's to the places where inspiration is born. To families big and small, with thanks for making our family such a welcome part of yours.
Introducing NBCI.com. Come on. One site that has exclusive technology so you get the most relevant search results. From music, to travel, to health advice, to whatever you need. At NBCI.com, you'll spend less time searching and more time finding.
NBCI.com, your agent on the web. What you want, when you want it.
The games of the 27th Olympiad on NBC are sponsored by Budweiser. Beechwood aged, crisp, clean, and refreshing. Team USA, this Bud's for you.
Well, another underdog gives Team USA, the basketballers I'm speaking of, a tough time. The French got as close as 4 with less than 5 minutes remaining. Couldn't quite pull it off. If they had, it would have been the biggest thing in France since the last Jerry Lewis Film Festival. As it is, no matter which NBA players were on this roster, they were favored to win overwhelmingly. I guess it's worth noting that they were without Shaquille O'Neal, who has played in the Olympics in the past and declined this time, Kobe Bryant, who wasn't among the original invitees. Then when a roster spot opened up, they asked Kobe to join the team, and understandably he declined because he had other plans already made, including getting married, and Tim Duncan and Grant Hill were hurt. Still, every player on this team has been an NBA All-Star, overwhelming favorites against Lithuania and France, and threatened by both, but they win the gold, and Craig Sager has some of them right now. Craig?
Well, thank you very much, Bob. Kevin Garnett and Vince Carter, both sensing urgency in the second half when they went within 4. What was going through your mind after the close call you had against Lithuania?
Well, just to keep it going. You know, we didn't make it this far to quit. If we're going to lose, we're going to go out fighting. And we were able to persevere and get the job done.
Most of the time, our highlights of you are in the air making slam dunks. But you made the big defensive stop, diving on the ground, and then winning the jump ball. Talk about your defense at that point.
Well, I just want to do whatever I could for the team, whether it's scoring the ball, passing the ball, or defending the ball. And tonight it was defense. And that's a great feeling for me. It's a different side of me that people, I don't get the recognition for. And I'm just loving it right now.
You leave with a gold medal. That was the goal. But are you surprised the way some of these international teams played you and how close they played against you?
Nah, basketball has evolved, and it's come a long way. So I'm proud of the way we played, and it's much respect to France and Lithuania because they pushed us to the end.
What about some of the highlights for you in this tournament? The Frederick Weiss Slam Dunk is the #1 website on the whole Olympic Games. Was that the highlight for you?
It probably is because everybody enjoyed it. And if everybody's happy, I'm happy. And a close second or maybe even a tie was winning this medal.
Well, congratulations, Vince Carter, leading scorer for the United States. Now let's go back to Bob.
Thank you, Craig, and we'll head right away to commercial. And when we come back, we'll wrap things up from Sydney.
Welcome back to Sydney, Australia, and the games of the 27th Olympiad. Here's Bob Costas.
Coming to the wire on a Sunday afternoon in Sydney, late Saturday night back in the States. Just about everything at this point that remains on the schedule determines medal winners. Later on, we'll have some medal matches in freestyle wrestling, also track and field, including the final of the men's 5,000, and coming up shortly, an interview with the world's fastest man, Maurice Green. Earlier, we showed you the U.S. men's basketball team for the third time consisting of NBA All-Stars. They won the gold medal in a game against a competitive French squad, and just moments ago, the medal ceremony was held. Here it is.
Co-captain Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, Vince Carter, Kevin Garnett, Vin Baker, Ray Allen, Antonio McDias, co-captain Gary Payton, and Sharif Abdurrahim.
If you were with us earlier on this Saturday night back in the United States, Sunday in Sydney, you saw that the French team got within 4 points with less than 5 minutes to go. They had led 7-6. The U.S. won on an 11-0 run. They seemed to have a comfortable lead at halftime, and then the French team staged a rally in the second half and made it more than interesting. Not quite as close as in the semifinal game when the Lithuanians came within a missed three-pointer at the buzzer of upsetting the American squad. The final in the gold medal game, 85-75 U.S. And now they get the medals and a chance to hear their anthem.
Of America.
No U.S. Olympic basketball team with NBA players on it has ever lost a game, but this is the first time the U.S. squad in the NBA era of Olympic basketball has been in any sense threatened. The French get the silver, a worthy Lithuanian team takes the bronze, and we're back to Sydney after this.
Please acknowledge our Olympic medalists.
The games of the 27th Olympiad on NBC are sponsored by Acura, introducing MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before. By AT&T, broadband partner of the 2000 U.S. Olympic team. And by Nike.com, delivering the buzz from Oz.
You You just saw the U.S. men collect their gold medals in Sydney. Much has changed in Olympic basketball since the games were last held in Australia back in 1956 in Melbourne. Then a U.S. team centered by a 22-year-old from the Bay Area won gold. And for Bill Russell, it was an early and significant achievement in a career during which he became one of the greatest team sport athletes of the 20th century.
I wanted to be a great basketball player. And I wanted to play and beat the other best basketball players.
In the summer of 1956, as the Melbourne Games neared, Bill Russell was America's top amateur. His emergence at the University of San Francisco drew professional offers, including one from the Harlem Globetrotters and another from the Boston Celtics of Red Auerbach. But his intention to join the Celtics after Melbourne jeopardized Russell's Olympic eligibility.
Avery Brundage, he put out a thing. Anyone that says that they're going to turn pro, turn to be a professional after the Olympics, I'm going to disqualify them before the Olympics. I never, 1 minute, ever considered playing for the Globetrotters. There's certain things are good and honorable. And playing in the Olympics, and the key thing to playing in the Olympics is to compete. It's not necessary that you win, but to compete.
I declare open the Olympic Games of Melbourne.
The athletes, which is a really beautiful part of playing the Olympics. You know, it was like, if I look at you, I'm a sprinter and you're a sprinter. We're in the same place at the same time under the same pressures. And so there is an immediate affinity.
In Melbourne, the Russell-led U.S. men's basketball team stormed to gold, winning its 8 games by an average of 53 points. That included a 101-29 rout of undersized Thailand.
The games themselves were just, I can't tell you how much fun it was. We're playing at Thailand. And the center was 5'10". And did I feel any guilt? Not one moment. What we did, we were the classic ugly Americans. We wanted to see how bad we could beat them. And we played just as hard against them as we did against the Soviet Union.
Capacity crowd of 4,000 are on hand at the Glaciarium in Melbourne for the Olympic basketball finals. Russia and the United States are competing for the gold medal. Big Bill Russell, the collegian from San Francisco, delights the crowd with his defensive tactics.
It was just fun to be a part of that. And the gold medal is very, very, very proud.
The amazing 6'10" Billy Russell.
You go to college, you have a great time, you do this, but you don't want to go back.
It's all over. The Boston Celtics are once again the world champions.
I tell my friends, you can tell when you're getting old, when you talk about what you've done and not what you're going to do. And I've reached that point where now I talk about what I've done.
I've never known anyone who enjoys his own material more than Bill Russell. That cackle is likely to be let loose at almost any moment. From basketball's all-time greatest winner to my interview with the world's fastest man, Maurice Green, when we come back. That is Vince Carter, by the way, with his mom after the gold medal game. Mom dabbing at his tears, like she must have when he was a child. She's got the bouquet given to the winners on the medal stand. He's got his gold medal, and we've got Maurice Green next.